That's the nice thing about sports. We learned it from rugby. Resilient. Rugby taught us to be very resilient.
Yeah.
Especially through the toughest times. Especially when we used to play big schools, big varsities. Because you used to play against guys who weigh around 110, and most of your teammates are 80 kilograms, 70, but you play against big, massive guys.
Okay.
And you had to be on the field. And when you get on that field, you forget about the weight, it's man or man.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at Tiro and his structure.
I think he's dieting now. He's on a diet. He used to be big. He used to be massive. No, he used to be massive.
I used to be big, and I echo what Mulemo saying.
Hey.
Like in rugby, and this is where I realized that, and back to what he says with entrepreneurship in rugby.
Yeah.
This is where it goes back to, if you don't have the heart in rugby, you're not going to play rugby, because it's war. Rugby is war, and it's war, men on men. The guy is there to hurt you, you're there to hurt him. You're not there to play the ball and pass it around and negotiate. No, I either go through you or go around you, and you have to try and stop me. So in terms of the heart and the passion that we learned from rugby, I think that also gave us resilience to get to where we are and actually bring it into
Are we missing something as myself and my wife? Are we missing something in as far as not putting our kids in sports?
I'll
can I be frank?
Yeah.
Actually,
That's the idea of the podcast. We want to be frank.
You guys. Actually,
I want you to tell it like it.
Yeah, can I tell it like it is? You guys deserve a spanking as parents. You deserve to be spanked because now you're depriving your kids of a lot of fundamentals that they can take with to adulthood.
Yeah.
Because sports is not only about running on the field. There's a lot you learn through sports. Discipline, like we said, resilience, perseverance. It's all the tough words. I can't say fun. Yes, there is a bit of fun, but most of the time you learn the tough aspects of sports. So I think it's how we position ourselves as parents.
From your experience, what is causing, except for what I'm saying, what do you think it's causing parents, the black parents? And I wanna specifically say black
They're
parents.
overworked.
Yeah, overworked. And they vibe too much.
Hey,
We always, check, man. Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
Please.
You're right when you say they're overworked, but sometimes we make excuses. You understand? I can work from Monday to Friday, but trust me, I will never disappoint somebody telling me there's a lunch.
And they're gonna go into
You understand? Now it's thing, and here's the funny thing: your child plays in the morning until when you go to BK, you get at BK at 6 o'clock. You leave at 12. So which one is taking a toll on you? Which one is taking? Because you haven't rested, and then Sunday is not long enough for you to say, I'm recouping for Monday, so that I can start again. So, but the thing that black parents don't realize is that with sports, that's where we interchange with each other. That's where we negotiate. Actually, that's where you create business.
So today I'm sitting with Mulemo. Look, I'm looking at Tiro. I'm sitting with Mulemo and Tiro. It's a bit of a weird setup, but we've been talking for so long, and Liberty and my wife then convinced me, or no, let's actually have sorry. Yeah, she's Liberty and my wife. It's actually Crystal and my wife. How are you checking in, Tiro? Let's start with you.
I'm fine. I'm awesome.
Yeah,
I'm actually thankful that I'm here.
Yeah.
It's a fresh and new perspective that I wasn't expecting to get.
Yeah.
But I'm wonderful. I'm awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has the day been good? How was you waking up in the morning and thinking, hey, I'm going to a podcast? Like, how was that feeling?
Well, normally I'm not overwhelmed by much, I just
Okay.
take it in my stride.
Yeah.
Because I've done similar things with radio and
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So for me, it was just like, okay, I know what I need to speak about. It's going to be a social and fun thing
Yeah.
to be part of.
Yeah.
That's how I woke up this morning. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm good.
The energy is
the
there.
energy is there.
Yeah.
The energy is there.
Nice one. And Mulemo?
I woke up feeling great. Actually, I'm great, man, and I'm thankful and blessed to be here. Like Tiro just mentioned, it's a new platform for us that we wanted to expose for a long time. So yeah, we're glad that we're here. So we're gonna do the most that we can and make it a fun show.
Yeah, no, we need to have a good conversation.
Yeah.
I think I always say the idea of us creating this podcast was to create a platform where people can have constructive conversations, not some junk talk, that is now popular out there. And today you want us to talk about sports.
Yeah, you're in the business of sports.
In the business
You're
of Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. Like maybe your background in sports and how do you come across sporting in your lives?
Well, I'll start with myself. My background in sports, I actually studied sports.
Okay.
So it's something I'm really passionate about. And the reason why I studied sports was because for the longest of time, I played rugby and I loved rugby.
Okay.
So that led me into it, into sports. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I can make this into a career. Yeah. And ever since then, I've just been about sports all my life.
Did you see yourself as a rugby player
Yes.
someday?
Yeah, I saw myself as a rugby player. I actually almost became professional.
Okay.
I was with the Golden Lions. I was at Rao at some stage a long time ago, and I've always wanted to be a professional rugby player. But I also think there were a lot of dynamics at the time for us as players that we were not seen as players are being seen today.
Yeah.
But I think with what I achieved, I'm just super proud of that. And I've always loved sports. Like I love rugby. I played soccer when I was young. I've been an athlete. So yeah, sports is a big part of my life. I mean, even my son now, he watches rugby. And he's only 1 year old, so I'm getting into it. I'm already indoctrinating him into it. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, all right, nice. And Tiro, how do you come across?
Before I even get into it, first of all, I'm a fan of sports. That's that. I'm a fanatic when it comes to sports. Whether it be netball, whether it be rugby, soccer. I have so much passion for it. When we talk about the fundamental aspects, I also study sports. I'm a qualified sports management student.
Okay.
And my whole life, like you, I also played rugby. I played it provincially, almost played it professionally. But like he mentioned earlier on, there were dynamics that they didn't keep us in the dark. It's just that at that time, it was tougher for let me not be racial about it, but it's facts. I want to talk facts. It was tougher back then for black rugby players to be recognized than they are right now. You understand?
Okay.
Because that system back then, it was a system of quota system. We had something called a quota system, whereas if a team has about 25 players, 5 players had to be black and then 20 had to be white players. But now things have changed. It's more open. Kids are getting an opportunity. It's up to you if you want to become a professional player.
It's now based on merit.
It's based on merit now.
Now it's based on merit.
But we love sports. That's why we decided, you know what? Let's do our own thing. Let's start our own company. Work with kids. Make this thing. How can I say this? Productive, constructive, and also live off it as well. While we're still doing, because we're doing what we love, basically. Yes.
This is going to be a strange one because I'm thinking you guys are sports people, you are fans. I'm not.
I'm gonna change your mind.
I always say to people, I think Chimsy Kaujua inside the sports. But I'm not. I'm trying MMA.
MMA.
Hey, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous, eh?
No, just to follow it as a fan.
Oh, just to watch.
Not.
Because we're not speak sports. We speak about participating.
I was like, we're sitting with a dangerous man.
No, man. I just love and also boxing, but obviously those are not big as soccer and rugby
And
in the
cricket,
country,
yeah.
and cricket. So it's gonna be a weird one because you guys are gonna talk, but at least we're not talking about, you know, the specifics into sports. I think the big thing is about the culture. You know, I would imagine the business side of it as well. Tell us about the business. When did you guys form the business and how is it
Going so
far?
We started the business well, I was going to say right after COVID, but actually we started
During
in the
COVID,
middle of
yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
In the midst of all the chaos.
Yeah.
So we actually realized that because COVID was happening, that actually there's no sports. Because remember at that time, everybody was just secluded and they were told not to be outside and it's just bad. But we saw a gap in the market and we were like, you know what? Actually, this is a perfect time for us as a business of sports to go and approach clients and close deals. Because when COVID ends, everybody's going to come back to the normal, natural way of living.
Yeah.
And sports is going to continue. And by
Yeah.
the time that happens, we would have positioned ourselves and bagged clients and actually gotten ahead of all the other sports companies that are laying dormant during COVID.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And this was 2020.
It was 2021. It was 2019.
Yeah, 2019,
2020, yeah.
Okay.
And we did that. We
Yeah.
started going, knocking on doors.
And
Just
yeah.
me and him.
You know, the
knocking on
nice thing,
doors.
as you're talking, the number of businesses that got registered during COVID, it just climbed up. You know, there's a lot of businesses that got registered. Unfortunately, a lot of those could not make it post 2023. And I'm glad that today I'm sitting with people that started during that time and they are still in business. So it's a big up to you guys because it's 5 years now.
Yeah, that's 5 years now.
Yeah, that you've been in business.
And we're going strong. That's 5 years. Yeah, that's 5 years.
It's 5 years. I was just saying, I'm like, it's actually 5 years.
It is. It is. And you know, if you look at stats, and I know we
It's 5 years.
but if you look at statistically, if you look at the number of businesses that gets registered, let's say in a particular year, and then you track them and check how many of them still run
Exist, yeah.
in 5 years' time.
5 years' time.
Very few. I think the numbers are around 15% the last
That's
time I
true.
checked.
That's
So if 100 businesses got registered 5 years ago, only 15 of those are in existence. And you are one of those that are still running.
Man, it's hard work, man. It's sleepless nights.
Yo!
I don't want to make it for it to seem cozy or easy. It's very hard. It's stressful. There's a lot that goes behind dealing with business in terms of disappointments. Mostly, and I want to be honest, mostly in business, you get a lot of no's before you get to the yes.
Yeah.
You understand? So mentally, you have to be able to say, you know what, we need to sustain ourselves in this period of rejection. So we're good at that because that's the nice thing about sports. We learned it from rugby, resilient. Rugby taught us to
Discipline,
be very, very, very resilient.
Yeah.
Especially through the toughest times. Especially when we used to play big schools, big varsities. Because you used to play against guys who weigh around 110 and most of your teammates are 80 kilograms, 70, but you play against big, massive guys.
Okay.
And you had to be on the field. And when you get on that field, you forget about the weight. It's man or man.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at Tiro and his traction.
You don't know.
I think he's dieting now. He's on a diet. He used to be big. He used to be massive.
I used to be big, and I echo what Lemo was saying.
Hey.
Like in rugby, and this is where I realized that, and back to what he says with entrepreneurship and rugby.
Yeah.
This is where it goes back to, if you don't have the heart in rugby, you're not going to play rugby because it's war. Rugby is war, and it's war, men on men. The guy is there to hurt you. You're there to hurt him. You're not there to play the ball and pass it around and negotiate. No, I either go through you or go around you, and you have to try and stop me. So in terms of the heart and the passion that we learned from rugby, I think that also gave us resilience to get to where we are in actually bringing it into our business.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't easy.
It's never easy. It's like Ford. It's never easy.
You know, talking about that, I was saying to you guys earlier, or we were saying to you with my wife, our kids don't do sports.
Yeah,
What are we missing? Like, are we missing the fundamentals that, or the things that, the principles that kids can gain, because you guys are talking about you playing rugby, facing this guy, knowing that this is a fight, this is war. And now when you start your business, the same mentality now has transitioned into you running a business, and it has helped you have this business for 5 years, and hopefully you can run it until you hand it over to the next person to take over. Are we missing something as myself and my wife? Are we missing something in as far as not putting our kids in sport?
I'll
can I refrain?
Yeah.
Actually,
That's the idea of the podcast. We want
you guys. Actually,
I want you to tell it like it.
Yeah, can I tell it like it is? You guys deserve a spanking as parents. You deserve to be spanked because now you're depriving your kids of a lot of fundamentals that they can take with to adulthood.
Yeah.
Because sports is not only about running on the field. There's a lot you learn through sports. Discipline, like we said, resilience, perseverance. It's all the tough words. I can't say fun. Yes, there is a bit of fun, but most of the time you learn the tough aspects of sports. So I think it's how we position ourselves as parents. The environment plays a huge role when it comes to kids participating. If, for instance, let's take public schools in urban areas.
Yeah.
For example, like most of EMS schools used to be mixed, used to be racially mixed, white and black. But most now more learners are black learners coming from the townships.
Yeah.
When you go back to the townships, there's no facilities for these kids to play sports during the day, in the morning, or later on. Even the schools in the location don't have facilities. For facilities, it's either they are destroyed, equipment stolen, or not well maintained. But if you go to a white neighborhood, every corner you go, there's a park where kids can play. If you look at the schools, the facilities are well maintained. So it's not about. We don't want our kids to play sports. We ourselves as parents, we are not active enough, and we don't position ourselves in that type of spaces.
Also, it starts from in the house. Like I just said now, I watch rugby with my 1-year-old. I literally go to YouTube. He watches the Springbok games. He watches NFL. Like I'm already getting him into induction, showing him that, there's sports.
Yeah.
And sports is good for you. So imagine now when he gets to, let's say, for instance, grade 1, the first thing he's going to want to do is I want to go outside and do what I saw on TV.
Yeah.
Daddy, get me that ball. I want to go outside. Then it starts there, because also the parent has to be a fan of sports. So Vuyani, Mulemo was right. You need a spanking.
I'm getting a spanking. Okay.
It starts with the parent.
So now my kids, last year, they were at an Afrikaans school.
Yeah.
And what I'm just trying to go into the difference now in the communities. My kids were in an African school, and these guys are big on sports. Rugby, hockey, you name, cricket.
all of them.
These guys are just like big on it. And when you go to the soccer fields or the sports fields, during the week in the afternoon, there's parents there. And then this year we moved them to a different school, which is an English school. Afrikaans. we could not, because everything was being taught in Afrikaans, and we just could not. Yeah, we could not cope. I mean, even when they come back with homework, we could not help them. But we took them to an English school.
Yeah.
And now the problem, or what we've noticed there is not a lot of excitement about sports. The culture, sports, it's so different. Where our kids are, there's 2 schools, there's actually 3 schools. The primary where my kids are, and then another primary, which is also an Afrikaans primary, and then an English school. In January, when we brought our kids to the English primary, when we looked at the 2 opposite schools, the Afrikaans school and the English school, which is a high school, and we looked at the soccer fields. It was a huge difference. On the African school, you know, the soccer field is clean and, you know, the lawn is neat. On the English school, which is now a high school, predominantly black, the grass is, you know, above your head.
Above your head. It's
bad. So the black community, are we understanding sports as a way of developing the mind of a child, or are we seeing it as just a hobby that is a by the way thing that we should do today and then not do if we don't want to?
To answer your question, I think in our black communities, the majority of those parents who are with those kids actually played sports.
Back in the days.
Back in the day. If you think about it. If you think about it.
Yeah, I also played a bit of
back
soccer.
of the day, you know, whether it was in primary school or whether it was in high school.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, sports was prioritized in our communities as a big thing. Because it enhances the human element. Whether you're a child or an adult, what you learn from sports, you can actually use for the rest of your life. Those parents know that, but they've forgotten that.
No, but they didn't forget.
No, they have.
Stop.
They have.
They need to thank you.
It's
Like me.
because hanke ba hopola ba ne ba tlo pusha bana bona hore ba bapale any and every kind of sports.
But now I can argue also to say I actually, it's not that I forgot, and because now I'm in this conversation, I'm representing them. It's not that I forgot. When I grew up and I played soccer, it's because I kept myself busy with it, you know, and it wasn't because I'm trying to build discipline. It wasn't because I'm trying to build resilience. It was just me trying to keep myself busy, you know.
I see what
And
you
now when I become a parent, I'm thinking, the guy has got PlayStation. He can keep himself busy.
That's also another thing. PlayStation, phones, internet, you know, all of those things keep a child from basically the
being active.
That's basically it, being active. And you know, if you don't have an active lifestyle, other parts of your area don't function as well. And especially as a child must always grow up on an active lifestyle for development of the body, development of the mind, you know.
But we don't understand the black community. Okay, do you agree that the black community doesn't understand
how important
or we take it for granted? Like it's
You know what? Actually, I'm glad that we having this topic about sports, because I believe the problem is that black parents were not informed about the benefits of sports. You understand? And some black parents, when they play sports, because they were disappointed, they decided long time ago, my child is not going to play sport. I don't want my child going through the same thing I went through. As a soccer player wasn't given a chance, as a rugby player wasn't given a chance. So to them, in their heads, they see sport as a waste of time. So it's either it's a hobby, or it's a waste of time. So they don't promote it, like you said, in-house. You understand? If somebody in the community doesn't come and say, hey, I'm starting a club, or hey, there's an
your
event,
son has talent.
your son has talent, they pay no attention because they are not informed about the benefits of sports. I think the problem is the information with regards to what sports can do for a person, you know, in the short term and the long term. That's what we need to expose to people. The benefit of being active, the benefit of, because imagine, like you mentioned now, there's a reason why white parents are always at the field, and people, and trust me, when people pass around, whether they're driving in their cars or in the taxi, black people get jealous. That's the funny thing. Oh, look at the school. Man, it's always packed here every Saturday. But they don't want to become the solution to their own problem. You understand? That's what we also need to fix as well. In our communities, we need to fix that.
I also think that in our communities, we don't have a lot of leaders, active leaders, who want to change the current, the problems that are currently there. There are kids playing soccer every day. There's clubs that are running every day in communities. But how many parents that are in those communities are helping out those clubs?
They will tell you they have stress.
You understand? How many parents are actually, you know, coming to referee or buying soccer balls, or doing something to actively help this thing, because that's what's needed in our communities. I mean, if a child plays football or rugby, they're getting away from drugs, they're getting away from alcoholism, they're getting away from the bad element which is in our communities, you know. And also they're getting mentored by the coach, because the coach now is no longer just a coach. He's a figure structure. He's a father now, or he's somebody who this child can listen to, can come with problems. You know, so there's a lot of dynamics to it.
The other perception, and I'm gonna speak for the parent that doesn't take their kids to sports. Because I'm that parent. The other problem is, you know, someone could be saying, a parent, you know, could be saying, actually, if I let this guy go to the soccer field, you know, I don't know what I'm exposing them to. I don't know those guys. I don't know those kids. You know, I don't know the type of behaviors that they're having. I don't even know the coaches, you know. Could it not be that we also have got an element of fear to say, maybe in the space, in an African school or a white school, you know, that's Afrikaans, you feel safe because you understand that the culture there is in a particular way. But now, me as Vuyani, when I think about the streets where I grew up in, and how I survived those streets, and now having to take my kid and send them back to the same streets, I'm thinking, yes, sir. But are
you still living in those streets?
I don't live in those streets
anymore, I guess.
Yes, but now
you're doing better for your child. You're providing better for your child.
I'm providing better, but I'm just trying to say I'm avoiding taking them to the soccer field because I don't know the coach. I don't know the kids that are there, and I don't want my kid. I survived that experience, and I don't want my kids to go through the same experience because I don't know if they'll survive. I don't know if I have nobody nyaupe boy and learn to smoke matekwani.
That's why parents are very important especially in primary school and high school for developing sports. Because your involvement ensures that it's a safe space for your child. The coach is fine. You know, how I match. You are there because you know Coach Tiro Coach Tiro communicate WhatsApp or you know. But if you don't take the active time to be involved in those in those aspects, sports someone how, then you'll be fearful. Because then you'll always be worried to that's why parenting and being actively involved in your son's or child's sporting activities is so important. It's the number one thing. Not only does it boost the confidence of your child, but it also makes your child be calm. Because he's got support from
perform better as well.
Yeah, from the dad.
Yeah.
You know. So it's a two-way streak. The more involved you are, the more you're gonna bring down your fear, and the more your child is also going to progress and become better because he knows he's getting support and love for the thing that he wants to do from home.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so many benefits.
Are very important.
They're very important
when it comes to sports.
It's too important.
But from your experience, what is causing, except what I'm saying now, what do you think it's causing parents, the black parents, and I wanna specifically say black.
They're
parents.
overworked.
Yeah, overworked. And they vibe too much.
They're
we always, you know, check, man. Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
Please.
You're right when you say they're overworked, but sometimes we make excuses. You understand? I can work from Monday to Friday, but trust me, I will never disappoint somebody telling me, there's a groove at BK. Or there's a groove at Rhythm Lunch.
And
you understand? Now it's playing. And here's the funny thing: your child plays in the morning until 1 o'clock or maybe 2 o'clock. When you go to BK, you get at BK at 6 o'clock. You leave at 4 o'clock. So which one is taking a toll on you? Which one is taking? You haven't rested, and then Sunday is not long enough for you to say, I'm recouping for Monday, so that I can start again. So, but the thing that black parents don't realize is that with sports, that's where we interchange with each other. That's where we negotiate. Actually, that's why you create business. That's why you always see white people gathering there. It's a network structure. You understand? Because you meet different parents.
BK.
No, BK, what are you networking? What are you networking? And so for you seeing, if I'm out with you and our friends, there's nothing that we're going to benefit there except to see people walking around or to even think doing bad things. You understand? Because it's I'm not saying don't groove. All I'm saying is just prioritize.
Yeah.
No about crystal when we parents, you cannot. I always say you cannot be a half parent and a half mujita at the same time. You have to choose one.
Okay.
If you are a father, you are a father. The day you decided that I'm going to be a father, be a father. I cannot be I expect my kids to say papa. You understand? I expect kids to say papa. I'm strict with my kids, but starting I'm friendly with everyone. I'm groovist. I got the map of clubs.
Yeah.
You have to prioritize. You have to choose one. If you're a father, you're a father. And here's the thing about us Black people. There's a lot of different activities you can do for fun instead of going to groove. There's mountain hiking, there's drag racing, there's cycling. You can play golf.
Even going to that game, you meet other parents.
Yes.
That's also a form of networking because now you're with parents who prioritize their sons' soccer or rugby or whatever. So those parents have got something that they know that you don't know. But because you're there, there's something in common.
Yeah. So you are saying essentially, it's not because parents are busy. It's not because this guy is working, night shift. He's working overtime.
That too. It's what I say.
That can also be part of it. If it's unfair to say somebody who's working on a Saturday to come and watch.
Yeah.
That's unfair. But if you're somebody who's working from Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're off. What's your excuse? Spending 2-3 hours to promote something constructive that will benefit your child in the long run. But we mustn't look at sports as everybody's going to be a professional soccer player or professional rugby player. We all cannot be professionals, but you can be a professional at something. There's a piece that sports instill in you that will benefit you in the long run for whether you are in construction, whether you are a doctor, a nurse, or a lawyer. Yeah. You understand? There's something that will, how can I say this? That you will take out of sport that you can also instill in other people or the people around you. You understand? We don't support sports.
But also the parents nowadays are parents katlung fela.
That's a problem.
So you only know your child katlung fela. I understand.
But you don't understand this guy of Nahali.
So you have to understand both dynamics because hale kantle. When I'm TV, hale kantle is TV. You start seeing the social aspect of your child when they interact with other children and with the dynamic of sports. But I my kids anymore. Papa, you do PlayStation. So that element as well is very vital for the parent to understand.
Yeah, I think that's something that we never personally. I would have not thought about it the way you're putting it. Right? It gives me an opportunity to see him not in the confines of my home. See him outside, see him being social, and get to understand him differently. And I also part of the reason why we've kept up, we've not seen sports as important for our kids. Is because we've always thought when we looked at them, these guys, they must just go to school. That's their best chance.
And it depresses the child. From our experience, I'm sure he also experiences it. When we talk to these children, when we coach them, I would tell you, and I'll be honest with you, they hate the academic part of school.
Okay.
They don't enjoy going to school.
It's not fun.
Because when they're at school, it's the teachers bickering them, hey, you must study, you must do this, you must study, focus. They get to school at 7:30, they leave school at 2:15. Some even go to extra classes, leave school at around 4 o'clock. You understand? When they get at home, Vuyan is waiting for him. Hey, take out your books, do your homeworks. You understand? So it's book. Everything, all that's ringing in their head is book. They become depressed, but they cannot express themselves to you because they're afraid that you're going to tell them, okay, no, you're making excuses. You understand? But if you look at a child that's playing sports, yes, they might not be, how can I say, they might not become A students, but they become more happier because besides from books, they have something else to go and do. They can take their stress and mind from books. A child that's always focusing on books, you must check them. They are always stressed. They are always stressed because they don't enjoy it.
No, it's true.
But if you look at an A student, they enjoy it because this is what they love. There's a difference between an average student and an A student. An A student enjoys studying. An average student, no man.
You want to have friends. You want to.
Yes, they want to mingle.
And especially when you are younger, I see that with my kids. What is important for them is friendships.
Yeah.
More than anything, they don't really care about whether they got. Well, they are happy that we are happy when they get, prizes from the prize giving and etc. But I think what is key for them is friendships. They want friendships, and probably we denying them the opportunity. How do we change it? Can we change it?
Yeah, we can. Stop having fear.
Yeah, everything is changeable. As a parent, I mean, you set the tone. If you realize that something is happening, so I think our kids right now have been bombarded with too much school. You understand? And I'm not saying it's correct. Be bombarded with too much school, but also have an outlet.
There must be a balance. Yeah.
Also have a balance. Also have a place whereby your mind takes a break from school. And I'm not talking about playing PlayStation because you're playing PlayStation with your mind. You need an activity that makes your body work, running, soccer or something, so that when you come back, you're refreshed. And I think our parents, they don't see that as a benefit. They don't. Would you like a phone? You're looking at the internet. It's too much. It's like you're in a cocoon.
Yeah.
So they need to get out. They need to literally just go play. We used to do that.
Yeah, we used to play a lot. That's why we're sitting here today.
You play and you come back. Even us as adults, we do our work, we do our business, but at some point you feel like, I'm dragged down. I need an outlet. Yeah. That's why we go out and vibe, which is the wrong kind of, or the kasavana, the isotropes, but that's the wrong kind of activity to vibe because blackout OS. But now, how nal majita reshapile 6-a-side tournament, kapo kopana re dlala bolo somewhere, tshwara di afterwards. That's something constructive. Now, so you need that outlet.
Yeah,
and sports provides.
I'm also, and I keep thinking about me because I'm that parent, the parent that you guys are complaining about. No, but
I love sports.
Yeah.
So he's the obstacle.
The thing is, you're talking about, the kid that stays in the house and he doesn't go out and play. To be quite honest with you, there's a lot of fear in us, especially parents today. I think we understand that we survived a very brutal space that has become very worse, which is the streets today. The streets are not as friendly as they used to be in the past. Yeah. And when I think about this guy, even my kids, we might be staying in a gated community, but I'm still worried that I'm not seeing them when they are riding their bicycle in the complex. And I think that's a real fear with a lot of parents. And it's it could be part of, for me, I think it's part of the reason why I don't let them go out and play, because I survived, I made it somehow. When I look at the people that did not make it, that were in that space, I'm thinking, yes, I'm an exception, I could have easily become the guy that did not make it. And now I'm thinking, how do I give my kids a chance to make it? How do I? And now I'm starting to restrict them. We have those fears. Parents are afraid to put a kid go taxi. I
understand that, but also children have to grow up in an environment where they are shown how to be independent. So some things you have to let them figure them out for themselves, because that's how we grew up. Sometimes if you bottle them too much, you're not going to get an independent child. Something those kids have to figure things out by themselves. So being around a complex basically, he's figuring things out. that's what we're here for, to figure things out for ourselves. As a parent, it's a safe space because he's in a complex. Because why? Because his parent provided that space for him. That's why it's important for the parents to be there, you know. Unlike Rona ba hotseng location, re palama bicycle, re tlo emona zone 10, re zone 7.
No, cell phone.
How ba makale mon o tswa kae ne rile zone 7 re di 10 ka di bicycle le jile eng ne re tshwere mabana re etsa eng re etsa.
You made a plan.
That's how we grew up.
That's how we grew up.
That's how we
And without these tools, because nowadays, at least when we have these tools,
Hey, okay.
what I'm used to, I remember because I grew up in a farm type of structure.
Okay.
Go Garbon, plus like rechte fun place. So when we played, it was either we play soccer or we go hunting. And then, trust me, the places that we used to go and hunt, dangerous place. If my mother knew, she would have killed me a long time ago.
Rivers.
We used to climb trees. Trees they were taller than almost the same height as skyscrapers. But now, at least now the modern days, we have technology. We want to sustain kids. So if you're playing around the corner, let me know. We have apps where you can kind of track your child, at what time, what place. You understand? So the fear, it's understandable because with all this human trafficking, all this crime that's happening in South Africa, we as parents, we have to be fearful because it's love. We have to nurture our kids, but we bottling them up. We're making it worse.
Yeah.
Because they need to survive. They need to survive in society.
So we leave them to the elements.
You have to
deal with them.
To deal with them.
You have
helping them out.
You have to. Because it's the one thing that I think our society has forgotten. That children need to develop independently. You are there as a protector and overseer. All right? But at some stage, you're not going to be there all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And rona ha ne re tsama re le banyane re lo bapala batswadi ba rona ba ne ba sna taba hona jwale batswadi ba bona jwale ba na le taba haholo.
Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe
that's the problem. But check, buddy. What's again? But we cannot place my trauma. Okay, my child, you're gonna go through the same thing. I don't want you to go through the same thing. Like, I check. Yes, they have your DNA, but they're not gonna live the same life every person. It's the same thing. A pastor's child will never become a pastor. It's true. Most of the time, it happens. A pastor's child, chooses the wrong path, but they're growing up in the right path. To them, I think this thing, I cannot be like my father. I want to be something else. I want to be something different. But the pastor's wish is to say, I want to take this thing that I have, this calling, then they become protective. They frustrate the child. You must allow the child to be themselves.
Okay.
You must allow them to be themselves.
And a lot of kids nowadays, they don't really exercise a lot because when you exercise as a child, you grow up already having that discipline within you. Because how also realize in order for me to be good at soccer, I need to kick the ball every day at home. So that when I get to school, I can be a good player. Right? Already kicking the ball at home takes you away from your phone as a child, takes you away from the TV, takes you away from the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Those 2 hours while kicking a ball, you're cultivating discipline. You are cultivating commitment to something. You have a goal in place as a child without you even knowing it. You know, you're working on things that you're going to eventually have to work on by yourself. By yourself. And that's why I love sports. It really makes a person a leader. It makes a person goal-orientated, disciplined, and it's all self things. Self-discipline, self-leadership, self-commitment, because you're doing it only one. How am I for stand? Kwena batlang lo ga bolo, kwena batlang lo bapala, kantle kwena batlang go ya mano lo dlala bolo. That's the kids ba ratang bolo betsa jwalo. Nna ke batla ho mara ntato ka ha ba. But
I want to come.
Mara ntato ka ha. Cause why? Ha ba don't drop. Mara nna ke batla ho. So it cultivates that self-ownership and self-awareness of what do I want as a child.
Yeah.
And
I guess maybe the other thing is what we also miss as parents is the value that we can extract from allowing these guys to be in these spaces in the future? Because now, if you create that independence now, when the guy is 25 years, you're not gonna be stuck with the guy who's sitting in their bedroom playing PlayStation.
His personal growth would be different.
Yeah.
His social skills would be different.
Yeah.
That's
They
why it's
want
so
to hide from
important.
society, because most of the kids nowadays, they how can I say this? They always hide from society.
Yeah, I think we also, how we are now living, we are creating a space where we are becoming more and more antisocial. I'm homeschooling my kid, and now there's online
Learning and all that.
Education,
learning.
yeah.
Once the guy gets to, I'm taking them to UCT online, and then they are just in their own room. They study there. They stay in the house. I'm happy that I'm seeing them every day. But when the guy is 25, 26, he's still in the house and he doesn't want to leave now. It's a safe space. Now I want to go.
When he finishes his studies and gets a job, he needs to be around people.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't have the social skills to be around people because the whole time
he's been bottled into.
Yeah. Whereas with sports, it provides those social skills. Because now you're a team of 11 players. You need to go score a goal. You can't do it by yourself. You need to tell Taba, pass a Jonah, pass a Mikey, then when I will make the logo.
Mara, guys, yeah, I hear you. Are you telling me that these fears are us, being delusional?
No.
Are we saying there is no truth to the fears that that there's a risk of my kid? And now I'll tell you, one of the things that sort of worried us when the guys were in the African school, we knew that the culture is very different. Whatever
Short pants,
whatever
three quarters. We used to call them 3/4.
Yeah, the trend is Kimbo, Magumba, and now when we moved them to the English school, our fear was that now this guy is gonna become a Magumba, and I'm asking you guys, are you saying if I let my kids go into maybe the question should be, as a parent who's watching this podcast, what should they do? How do they get their kids into the spaces that you guys are talking about, but make sure that those spaces are also safe for the kid? And I the reality of it also is I can't always be there. I can't always sit there and watch him. Maybe I'll go and drop him off. But I'm worried if I'm dropping him off and leaving, what am I leaving the guy with too? Whatever the language is. Because I want him to be safe. I still want my kids to be safe. So for someone who is, how do you guarantee that? I mean, you guys are in this space. If you were the parent who has the fear, and now you need to take your kid into a tournament, ka Friday, ka Saturday, or you want we're starting a new year 2026, ka January, and you're saying I'm starting this year with sending my kid to sports, which is what we want to do.
I mean, let's say with specifically with your child, the school that he's in has probably got teachers and coaches that are there to monitor what's happening on the sports field. All right. But somebody allocationing who's a parent doesn't have those luxuries. So it's the groundwork. Abotse ma teacher ao skolong se hore ke mang coach bo etsala eng ka sports, then a to monitor ha bana ba bang a ke re ngwana a sokatla a shebe bona ho etsala on a day base, and if he's comfortable with that, then if I'm comfortable, I thotse enough assurity to overcome the fears, then not dumela ngwana hai. But if as a comfortable, then otla batla a club around the same area. Enaling academy kapo specifying ka bolo fela a etsa research mo ise ngwana mo.
Communicate with the coach.
So are you saying it's better for me to take it's safer for me to take my kids to an academy over just leaving them to
much safe?
That's why I said if there's school sports, if there's sport at school, then take him there, because teachers are there, coaches are there. The well-being of a child will be taken care of. If there's an academy, take him there, because an academy is specifically structured for soccer field. So you're getting the highest level of professionalism for your child. That's what an academy is. It's like taking him to a school. Yeah, ball.
Are they safe at an academy?
Yeah.
You know, so if something happens to my kid, what can I do? Do I have recourse?
The only thing that would happen, you get injured.
Can I just add on to what you're saying, buddy? One of the nice thing about communicating with the coaches, the teachers, and the people who are surrounding your kid, it helps you because you know somebody is liable for my child. When I take them there, so it becomes easier for you when you communicate with the coaches. When you drop into a game and have a relationship with the coach, you are able to say, you know what, my child is not going to be able to come today. We're going somewhere. At least you let the coach know, let the coach can be assured that this relationship between me and the parent, I'm going to take care of the child. Because the parent left the responsibility on me to make sure that the children are safe.
Yeah, because happily,
You understand?
when you're working in the sports industry, you have to get a police clearance. You can't
clearance,
work
yeah,
with
we can't
kids
work, yeah.
without a police clearance.
You must make sure
See
that,
these things, now we don't.
So even like you have to have a police clearance first and foremost. And then I know for teachers there you have a SACE certificate. So for teachers they're backed by SACE, but for coaches in sports you must have a police clearance to actually work with kids.
As a parent, can I see that? Can I request when I come to your academy?
Yeah,
can I
you can.
request?
It's
to see
actually this when the school employs a coach, or when an academy employs a coach, they have to literally request that. You cannot work with kids without having a police clearance.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's one of the things that is important in our.
And parents, that information,
Like Mulimo says,
parents have the right to know. Because I guess they're children.
Yeah.
Yes.
I cannot take my child to somebody that I don't know what's going on with them, what they do at night. I need to know this person who's in charge of taking care of my child, what he does, who is he, where is he from, does he have any criminal
Records, that kind of stuff.
That's not because we're dealing
That's
with
vetting.
children. There we don't compromise.
Okay.
Because we're dealing with kids.
That's vetting. So it's one of the prerequisites.
Okay. Let's wrap it up because Crystal they want me to wrap it up. Where do people find your academy? You know, your business. How do people reach you? You know, if somebody wants to has watched this podcast and they're like, actually, I do want to take my kid to a reputable sports academy. Where do they find you?
You can contact myself or Coach Mulimo.
And then we also have a Facebook page.
We have a Facebook page, Marbling Sports at Facebook, and then we also have an email, marblingsport@gmail.com. marblingsport@gmail.com, and obviously on Facebook we're also there. And
then
email.
There's a lot that we didn't discuss in terms of the business structure of what we're planning to do. You know, like now we're busy. We had an academy, but because we had to change the location, now we're starting everything from scratch now.
Okay.
So next year is going to be a big year for mobile sports.
Yeah.
We're thinking about starting an academy. We're also in discussion with the stakeholder to start a league.
Okay.
Here in the
Vanderbilt Park.
So it's on the cards. So there's a lot that's coming in terms of us and sports and coaching as well.
Yeah. What do you guys coach? Because now I'm thinking. Well, people still don't know now.
So
if they come to you, they're gonna find what? Soccer?
Yeah, they're gonna find soccer. They're gonna find rugby. They're gonna find hockey. They're gonna find cricket, athletics,
karate.
Everything. We offer services, sports services.
Okay.
So if your child is interested in a specific sporting code that isn't around, we can find somebody who can coach you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different sports and codes,
different sporting codes.
And you want us to sit and have this regular conversation on a podcast?
Always. Always.
Yeah.
Even maybe next time we'll just talk about the
life aspects,
the business aspect of sport. Or we talk about.
I'm just coming to your
the
question,
sponsorship
your point
aspect
to say
or
there's
marketing.
a lot of things that
There's a lot.
Because we didn't cover the psychological aspects of sports.
There's a lot.
The modeling of sports.
Yeah.
The sports is broad.
It's broad.
It's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, I think maybe let's make it happen. Let's arrange for another sit down where we can tackle. Maybe we must now not lump everything into
Yeah, maybe
one
do it.
episode. Something like the psychological aspect of sports, we can have it as a topic, go into that, and whatever else. And
You know what, the fear of parents.
we must deal with the figure before we talk about the aspect.
No, but
Because I think it's more about us parents rather than the kid wanting to. My kids want to play sports, but I'm not.
You must let them play.
He deserves a sport.
You will get a better child who's balanced.
Yeah.
Who understands the academic aspect, the sports, the academic aspect, the social aspect.
A happy child, actually.
You get a happy child.
Yeah. Okay. Until next time, we are out of time, but I really loved it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
It's a pleasure.
It's a weird setup, but I think it worked.
And I think it's important conversations.
Yeah.
No, when we put them to the test?
It's the vibe.
Because
the vibe makes it a good session.
When I spoke to them, Ben was like, no, we don't have the capacity to host 3 people at the same time. We'll test it.
It can be done. Next time it's done.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
doable.
next time I'm gonna sit that side.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, let's have these conversations. People need to hear.
Yeah, no, but we're making it work. And
let's
I
make it
hope when we put it out, this episode, I hope we get a lot of engagement, because I also am interested in seeing what do people want to hear. I know sports is a big thing that people want to participate in and learn about, and it's quite an important aspect of our society.
There's one other thing that I wanted to add, is that we need to have a podcast or a session on how many jobs can sports add to the economy, because that is something that is overlooked and underserved.
Okay.
So maybe we should do that.
Opportunities,
employment,
business opportunities within the
sports. Within the sports,
there's a lot, especially when it comes to in terms of sponsors. I think it's where you put yourself. Remember when I talk about space, where you space yourself as a person. With sports, people wanna sponsor. People wanna how can I say this? Wanna align themselves with sports companies. But the one thing they're worried about, are these people viable? Are they sustainable? Are they gonna taint our image? Or there's a lot of money in sports, really. Can I be honest? There's a lot of money. That's why you see in the professional level, everything is well taken care of. It's just that we need to come down to the development structure and fix the development structure, invest more money in the development structure, and create employment, because you have a lot of coaches who are sitting at home.
And you have a lot of kids who want to play.
Guys, we are
done.
out of time. But thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.